Hello there everybody and welcome back to Magna Carta 2. In this video we are going to be going through Belfort and collecting items needed for the Bluemoon Trewa tribe, as well as visiting the Sentinel Laboratory on a tip-off that Malaccia had given us. It's a little bit difficult to think of what order I want to do this in, because either way we have a lot of running around to do. But going to the Sentinel Laboratory is the shorter of the quests, so I think I'm going to do that first. And on our way there, we are going to run into our first group of Blackhorn Trewa. They are the ones holding the Bluemoon Trewa artifacts that we need to get. There are 3 mobs, all scattered throughout Belfort City. And once we've defeated them and gathered the 3 items, we can return to Ruhat Plateau and give the items over to Helga at the camp. While you're in this area, you are going to run into Trewa in regular groups of foot soldiers, but distinctively what you're looking for is a lone group of 3 Trewas, 1 leader, and then 2 sort of guard Trewa surrounding him. And in order to get the items needed for this quest, all that you need to do is defeat the leader. But these enemies are a bit of a higher level than the regular ones that are seen around the area, so it might be a good idea to defeat them all just for the additional experience.
This should be enough.
And also because they'll probably be attacking you and maybe in your way of actually getting to the leader. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to defeat the Trewa groups only. I'm going to do my best to avoid all of the other enemies in the area, just because we would be here way too long if I stopped to fight everybody. But this is a very good opportunity to do a little bit of grinding if need be. Because this place is crawling with soldiers. The Trewa all give really good experience, and the other ones, if they don't give good experience, should give you a pretty good amount of SID. And because you are going to be doing a lot of walking and then backtracking, all the enemies will respawn if you've defeated them, giving you twice the amount of enemies that you would normally get if you were just going in a straight line. Just a suggestion, if anybody is looking for a bit of additional experience, this is of course the time to do it. We have free range of what we want to do up until we're ready to go up to Lestrada once again. So of course the entrance to the laboratory is going to be through our secret hidden path, which is right underneath Belfort Castle. And then there is a pillar there, of course, if we remember, if it is needed at all. And this place is as creepy as ever. Luckily for us, we will be here for a very short period of time. What we're going to be doing is going to the first pod in laboratory number 2. That area was previously locked on our first visit, but of course Malaccia had managed to pilfer the key and has given it to us in order to check out some sort of device that they had been hiding away. And if Rue is able to successfully harness the power from it, then that should definitely help us out. And again, this place is loaded with soldiers, so do with that what you will. And as we walk in, we can see the device, which is very electric, obviously. And there's also a scientist in here who is not very happy at all to see us because we have interrupted his research. Now fortunately, it's just one guy, an enemy called the Mad Scientist, but nothing special in terms of soldier. A little bit of a higher level maybe, but there's really no strategy needed apart from just attacking him until he dies, maybe doing a little bit of training to make it go by quicker, but for the most part he just kind of stands there pathetically and takes a beating. And then once he has been defeated, we can grab this chest in the room for a Kamond of Agility, and then we should research the device to find out a little bit more about it.
So this is what that bozo was talking about.
I sense immense lightning power coming from it, all right. Stronger than I've ever seen. It might prove to be quite difficult to handle. It looks like this will be more difficult than I thought. I managed to do it, but it still remains to be seen whether or not we'll be able to master it.
This is a powerful lightning attribute weapon.
Excellent. It will definitely be an enormous help to us in the battle to come.
Alright, so for all that trouble and everything that we had to do for Malaccia throughout the course of the game, we get a weapon for Rue. If you are using shurikens with her, then I would recommend equipping that. It's probably the most powerful weapon you'll have up to this point, and you can load it up with commons and enhancements to make it even more powerful. And that weapon, of course, is needed for the 100% achievement for getting all of Rue's weapons, if that's something you're going for. And that also finishes off that quest for good. We have finished with Malaccia once and for all. We have done everything for him that needed to be done, so that's another thing off of our list. So now all that's left is to do a little bit of backtracking and to find those final two groups of Trewa. I'm going to backtrack all the way to where we started the video, and from there we're going to take the other fork, and what we need to do is visit the Belfort ruins and the central area of Belfort where Zephi was being held prisoner by Shuenzite, where we had saved her from execution. So they are fairly spread out, but if we ignore all of the enemies, we should be able to find them relatively easily and pretty quickly. It's fighting everything that really eats up all of your time. So now that we're back here, what you can do is return to the Obvious and stock up on supplies or heal up at the pillar if needed. And when you're all ready to go, we are going to go north to the Belfort ruins. And I think what I'll do is I will go and get the most tedious group first. So I'm going to keep heading north. And I'm going to try my very best to walk past these soldiers on this long road. The archers are very, very annoying because what you'll most likely be doing is trying to run away. And if you are trying to run away from them, what they'll do is they'll hit you in the back with their arrows, and that will stop your character from moving, and it's really a big nuisance. It just takes a lot longer to get to where you want to go if you aren't fighting them and you're trying to ignore them. So now that we're here in the square, we are going to want to go up 2 flights of stairs, and the Trewa group we're looking for should be on the 2nd level. There are quite a few soldiers mixed in with the group, so I normally just defeat everybody in the area just to save myself some grief. It's a little bit disorientating for your party to try and focus on the Trewa group when there's other enemies so close to you attacking all at once. So this one takes a little bit longer, just because there are so many enemies in such a small concentrated area, but I guess that'll just give us a little bit of additional experience and whatnot, so it also shouldn't take us very long.
I'll finish you off right away.
Once I get the item though, I am going to get the hell out of here. I'm not going to bother with any of the other enemies on the other levels. And as you were able to see, I kind of focused on the smaller group of enemies first, and I was able to dispose of them quite easily. The archers, while very, very annoying, are also quite weak. They really shouldn't give you any problem. And the foot soldiers and other Trewa in the area aren't particularly difficult either. But these Blackhorn Trewa put up a little bit of a fight.
This should be enough.
But that's alright, we like a good challenge. And I also like getting more than 200 or 300 experience per enemy that I defeat, because that sort of bites. And it looks like a couple of the enemies have actually moved up, because I swear that those archers were not there before. So what I might do is actually just get the hell out of here, to be honest. I grabbed the item that I needed, the jewels, and if I stay here, I'll probably be fighting archers for days, and that's not something that I want, so let's go back. And our last group should be very, very easy to find once we've made it past all these archers. And I forgot to mention too, another thing that you can do if you are taking your time in the area and fighting all the enemies is keeping a lookout for any of the chests that you might have missed on your first visit here, because any chest that wasn't opened will still remain closed on any return trips if you missed anything. And now that I am free of archers, I'm going to go to the part of the ruins where Crocel's house is. So this is the easternmost part of the map. And after we defeat this final group of Trewa, we only really have one more stop left, which is going to be Kotamare. And it feels really good to get all of these side quests done, because there are so many of them, and they are so time consuming, and it just feels so good to have that 100% sitting in your quest log and also in your achievements record if you have followed all correctly and gotten all of the quests done for the achievement. I actually played a game shortly after the first time I ever finished the game, where I basically just followed the story. I went through it, I switched weapon types just to switch things up a little bit, and I went through the game ignoring all of the side quests and basically going from point A to point B. And from what I recall, I think I clocked in at the very end of the game at about 25 hours. So it really goes to show you just how long these quests take, especially because a lot of them aren't a very simple task to do. A lot of them require a lot of running around or a lot of steps. But that's okay with me. I'm an RPG lover, and that's just a part of RPGs, I think. And I think it's better than simple fetch quests, in my opinion, because those get a little bit old after a while, but these ones are kind of nice because a lot of them provide some really nice backstory on characters, or provides a little bit more details about the game's world in general. And I kind of like that. I like that they've done that with this game. We are pretty much done here, so what I'm going to do is I am going to return to the pillar at this point. I'm gonna save up, speak to the obbies, stock up, and get ready for our next trip, which is going to be straight to Kotamari to speak to the chief. One last thing that I don't think I brought up in this video is that the area is now completely free of doom seeds, and all of your wizards are going to be able to generate cons, so you really have free range of whoever it is you want to use in this area, and you don't have as many restrictions as you did the first time. Nice little return trip to Belfort, although the place is still dreary and war-torn and full of soldiers, but that's nothing new. We're gonna go somewhere a little bit more green and cheerful in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.